What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to G-Miles World Podcast. And right now we're going to be taking a look at the divisional round of the playoffs, the NFL 2024. We're going to be kicking it off with the Texans and the Ravens. Now, before everybody gets excited about the fact that C.J. Stroud was eliminated, just remember, this is a young rookie player, bro, that went out there and pretty much played better than a lot of these other veterans out there. And I think people don't give the credit that's due when you see something that's not regular. All right, everybody expected a lot of these rookies to go out there and fall on their faces and, typically do things that generally happens with rookies. He still played very well in the first half. They fought, but the Ravens were just too much. Okay, like it is what it is. Like, we have to start to understand. It looks like it might be destiny for these Ravens to actually win and for the Harbaughs to just have an unbelievable blast. Like, the way that they're dancing in locker rooms, like, dude, like, okay, bro, like, you guys are ready to go. We have to see how it all plays out. But I told you guys, out of everything that was going in, once we saw the Eagles start to falter in the NFC, I made it very clear. The Ravens were the most dominant team later on. You know what I'm saying? Even though they had some bad losses early in the season, it's just something about the way their defense was playing. And if Lamar Jackson is able to do the things that he does regularly, run the football and throw the ball when necessary, this is going to be a very, very difficult team to beat. Okay, because they can get stops. A lot of what happens is you either have a one-sided team where it's like the offense is dominant and the defense is like, or the defense is really dominant and the offense is like, whatever, bro. This team is well balanced. Okay, they can run the football and they can play good defense. They're going to be very, very tough to beat. And I do expect them to beat the Chiefs. I know Mahomes has that magic. I know Taylor Swift is running around and has a lot of Swifties going crazy, but I do believe that they should beat the Chiefs, but we'll see how that works out. But ultimately, I want to, pretty much give the Texans credit, bro. They did some things, DeMeco Ryans and them boys, they did some things that nobody thought. And that Nico Collins, man, like, he played very, very well. But unfortunately, when you start playing defenses that understand assignments, and for those of you guys that watch football, you understand what I'm saying, like, understand assignments. Like, that is the guy that they have to take away. He's the guy that nobody really knows about, that's out there doing whatever he wants, but's having an unbelievable, playoff in season. You got to take him away. And they understood the assignment. The Ravens knew that that was the target. Next week, they're going to take away Kelsey and make other people beat them. It's going to be a very interesting, conference championship. So we'll see how that actually works out. But at the end of the day, bro, we'll see how, Lamar Jackson performs in this situation. Because if he wins this game and goes to the Super Bowl, I highly doubt that either the Niners or the Lions or whoever else comes out is going, is going to beat them. I honestly don't. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Ravens, they take care of the Chiefs. They got the Super Bowl and it's under wraps. All right. We jump into the Packers and the Niners. Now, Niner fans, you guys can lie to me until you're blue in the face, right? You were very, very nervous about the way Brock Purdy was playing. Brock Purdy threw 19 interceptions and none of them were picked. So if that happens in a game, right, you're going to probably still win the game regardless because you're going to still have possession of the ball. It's just the way that everything plays out and the way it works. Sometimes people are luckier than others. It is what it is. There's not really a big deal about the whole situation, but ultimately with the way that everything works out, people need to understand, right? If they get even one pick or make a field goal or, anything else, like, it's just so many different scenarios. The Packers easily win this game. And the Niners on paper is so much better. Like, just think about it. The Niners on paper is so talented. You got the Shanahan, you got all the stuff going on. It was really, really crazy the way that the Packers could just not get a stop. Even with him throwing the ball directly to them, they could not get a stop. So if that's the case, obviously they're going to win. They play like that versus the Lions, they're getting dominated. I don't really know, like, this is going to be, I know some of you guys going to be asking, like, yo, G, what are we going, Lions, Niners, dude, dude, it's going to be a very tough game. That's all I'm going to say. Because if the Niners play the way that they played against the Packers, the Lions are going to beat them. And that's ultimately where it is. The Packers, we all know what Jordan Love did. This guy is jumping around doing a no-scope, not looking. He's playing Call of Duty and throwing a straight Stevie. That was one of the dumbest passes I've ever seen in NFL history. And the only other players I can remember doing that is Brett Favre. Obviously Josh Allen. We'll get to him in a second. There's a lot of players that do that. That's trying to do too much when you don't need to do it. And ultimately, it's always the same outcome. Because if he takes his time, they had enough time to go at least tie the game and go into overtime. And then once you go into overtime, you never know what's going to happen. But he decided to jump around, and just throw the ball no scope and just throw a pick. And obviously, you see the way it works. The Niners pick the ball off. You see how that works, bro? Like, he throws the ball right to the defense. They pick it. Purdy is throwing the ball to the defense the entire game. They can't pick it. Look, it is what it is. It happened. I do want to shout out Aaron Jones, though. He balled out. 18 carries, 108 yards. A lot of these players came to play. It came down to the one play, guys, and that's what happened. And ultimately, the Niners are moving on to the championship. The Buccaneers and the Lions. Now, we already spoke about Baker Mayfield and Baker being Baker, right? We always say that, like, Baker's being Baker. The NFL has not really been his friend. I do want to give him credit, though, because playing at this level and getting to where he got, nobody expected this to happen. All right, let's just be very, very clear about it. Like, nobody believed in the Buccaneers. And Todd Bowles, as much as people give Todd Bowles credit for, like, being like a good coach and defense this, and he'll send 19 dudes and all this other crap, he's very, very scared, dude. Like, early on, look, guys, I'm always going to say this, right? What was it, like 3rd and 17, and then it goes to like 4th and inches, 4th and 1, and he punts, and then they zoom in on his face, and it's looking like he's a goddamn idiot. You got to go for that. Dan Campbell is going for that every single snap. That's why his team plays the way that they play for him. Whether you get it or you don't get it, you go for that in that situation. Now, if it's like 4th and 2, 4th and 3, punt it. But it's inches and a yard. You got to do a tush push. You got to do something, and you got to get those yards. I don't care, bro. And I knew at that point in the game early on, the Buccaneers were going to lose the game. I didn't care what happened after that. Dude, it's bro, you have to show your team you are there to win. That has to be done. And that's what, it just didn't happen. And that's ultimately where we are with it. And that's why I believe the momentum, even with the way the game's going back and forth, and, at one point it was tied, and then it's going all the way through, and the Lions end up scoring 14 in the fourth. Dude, whatever that situation is, that takes away a lot from what the team believes. And again, I believe the Buccaneers would have got that first down. But when you rely heavily on Baker, and Baker's throwing the ball a lot, he's going to throw picks. That's what's going to happen. Funny thing is, Jared Goff is actually playing really, really good. And he's doing just enough to not lose the game, but making plays when needed. Those key first downs and things like that. I'm just talking about, like, the way that the quarterbacks play in the league. If Baker Mayfield has to win the game for you, like on his arm, he's going to lose the game. If he's able to just make a couple plays here and there and do his thing, you're good. You were able to see the read that he threw the ball directly in the middle of the field. That is, like, bro, what are you doing? That it didn't make any sense. And everybody that was sitting there and watching, they knew by looking at the back of his jersey. It didn't say Brady. It said Mayfield. You guys knew you were going to lose the game. Every Buccaneer fan that was watching the game knew they were going to lose the game. But I'm just letting you guys understand. This is what people mean when they say Baker is Baker. College, all that stuff, the walk-on, all the things he's done, number one pick, that's all great. The NFL is completely different, and you can't do things like that. Now, will he continue to get better? I don't know. But I don't think that anyone is ever going to believe in him the way that he believes in himself. And that's fine. But he's probably going to get a decent payday. I don't know if the Buccaneers keep him. The one thing I would say, though, Todd Bowles, bro, it's always been something about him that he's just, dude, I don't know. He's very, very timid. And, even though they're like, yo, he's a great, great defensive coordinator, like, even though he's the head coach, like, he sends everybody, like, dude, I just don't feel that he's the guy for the Buccaneers. I just don't feel that way. The Lions, on the other hand, dude, Gibbs, what do you guys feel about Jahmyr Gibbs now? Was he too high of a pick? Talk to me. Somebody in the chat, talk to me. That dude was going crazy on that Buccaneers defense. Now, can he do that versus the Niners? The answer is yes. I don't care. Look, dude, listen. Every game is different based on the assignment. Gibbs is a really good, elusive. He could catch out the backfield. All that good. Dude, it's going to be a good game. I'm just going to say that. I'm not picking a winner yet. If you guys follow me on X, I'll be doing that over there. I'll let you guys know who I pick. But look, the Lions are playing real smash mouth football right now. So just let's just get ready. The Chiefs and the Bills. Let me just go ahead and point this out clearly. Jason Kelce is a savage. Like, dude, he was just getting ripped. And I don't know if he's coming back to play for the Eagles, but, like, if I have a brother like that, bro, I don't need nothing, dog. Like, I'm good. Like, that's a ride or die type dude. So you got to give that dude credit. Speaking of the game itself, right? We all know what this came down to. When players have a chance, and this is why a lot of people that are NFL fans really miss certain players like the Brady, who else, like John Elway. It was like, who else were just like, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. When they had the opportunity, for the most part, not every time, they were going to get that play to make sure that they got a field goal or they won the game. Those quarterbacks, they made plays, bro. They just did things that you knew it was coming, and that's what made it exciting. Josh Allen had a chance the same way that Baker Mayfield did, but in a different situation, because obviously the Buccaneers were down by 8. You're down 3, bro. You can't throw a no-scope pass. You just can't do it. And we've gone beyond giving him a pass because he's a veteran in this league now. And he's done this year after year after year, making boneheaded plays. You cannot do that. That's all I'm saying. And I like Josh Allen. You just can't make that decision. You cannot do a no-scope, bro. Call of Duty and all this other stuff that's going on, dude. You guys can do whatever when you're off the field. But you can't do that to your team, dog. And that's all, like, it's just so, it's really painful for the Bills. You know their history with the Super Bowl, continuous losses, like all that stuff. Like, you can't do that. Plus, you're playing against one of the most annoying families in the Mahomes. And you know the more they go on, people are going to be raging. You should be doing everything in your power to beat them. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody is rooting against them in the world because they're just tired of the whole thing, that the Swifties, the Mahomes brothers, people are just raging about it. And Patrick is probably a really decent dude, but his family has people raging out. Yo, dude, they just don't want to see it anymore. So for me, I don't know which way we're going with that. All right? Because like I said, I like Patrick Mahomes. And I think it's funny what his family is doing, annoying everybody. I think it's hilarious. And Taylor Swift, that's absolutely hilarious too. But going against the Ravens, I do believe the Ravens beat the Chiefs next week. And if I had to bet right now, the Lions have a very, very, high chance of beating the Niners. But I think the Niners could possibly pull it out. But we'll see how that works out. Obviously, I'll be giving you guys another recap coming next week. Hopefully you're enjoying your day. Get ready for the work week. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. You enjoy your day. Stay well, stay blessed. Until next time. One love, y'all.